Hello, Aries. Welcome to your full moon in Gemini reading for December 12th, 2019. All right. So this is a big full moon, Aries. This is, the last full moon of 2019, the last full moon of the decade. This is happening on the 12/12 portal. So this one's kind of a big deal, guys. So the full moon in Gemini, that energy is full of curiosity, okay? Um, New information is coming in, new ideas, breakthroughs will come in. Your emotions will feel balanced and calm, which is wonderful. It is a time to keep your eyes and ears open, right? Listen more than you would talk, because that's a lot of the ways that information, that knowledge is going to come in. You might hear it from people you've never met before. You might hear it from people you have. Spiritually, stay open because your guides and angels and ancestors will be downloading messages to you. Synchronicities, signs. It's also a big moment to release what you don't want to bring into 2020, okay? So I'm going to just keep it basic. Maybe you don't want to bring financial problems into 2020. Maybe you've had, a hard time last, month, year, decade. You do not want to bring that energy with you into 2020. So it's a good time to release, right? It's a very good time to release. Release anything that you do not want to bring into 2020. Whatever your rituals are, if you've never done one before, I'll tell you, during the full moon, simply, very simple way is that I use all the time is just to write down the things that no longer serve me, that I don't want to bring into the next cycle, and you burn them. Okay? Now be very, very careful. All right? Disclaimer here, careful, right? Don't want anybody having any major fires. So make sure that you're either, doing that outside, doing a safe zone. All right? Just putting that out there. But that is one way of many. So if you're unsure of what to do as far as ritual goes, Google it. There's a ton of different ways out there to let go. All right. Some of it is just saying it out loud, at least for me. During the full moon, I talk to my angels and my ancestors and my guides and divine. I say, I no longer want this in my life because it doesn't serve my highest good. Sometimes it's my own self traits, right? I no longer want to worry about this. I no longer want this. And the more that you say it, and you say it with intention and conviction, then it's going to happen for you. So, and then there can be healing. All right. So now that we've got that said here, let's talk about your overall energy. So this full moon is on December 12th, right? The energy itself is going to go about 2 to 4 weeks, all right? The overall energy the divine pulled out for you, Aries, I do love because it's the peace card, right? It is the peace card. And of course, this is, talking about letting go of what you cannot control, right? Half the time we worry about things that are completely out of our control. And worry does no good for anybody, all right? No good. It causes anxiety, sleepless nights. So the divine is saying it's time for you to kind of define what you can control and what you cannot control. And the things that you cannot control, you need to come to peace with that, right? I cannot control that. I'm not going to let it, cover my daily life or, drive it in any certain direction because I cannot control that. And the things you can control, that's where you need to focus on. What can I do to make this better? Maybe it is better, right? So that's what the divine is asking you to do during this full moon energy here. Aries, it's also time to, okay, so the divine is saying no drama, okay? Do not engage in it over this period. There's no reason for it, whether it's you creating it or someone else creating it or a situation creating it. Drama is not for you over the next few weeks. Just do not engage. Go into that meditative state, right? The universe is also saying, distractions are not good at this time either, because we all cope in a different way, right? We all cope with our worries in a different way, and it's time, again, to let go of the things that we cannot change, we have no control over. So this is also talking about analyzing that, kind of looking at that, not overanalyzing, just looking at it. So it's time to put down the devices for a while. It's time to focus on meditation, for, you know what I mean, doing better things with your time. And if you're new to this channel, meditation for me comes in many, many forms. Going for a walk instead of being on the device, that is meditative, right? Going for a walk is very meditative for most people. So, you know, overeating, probably not the best thing, even though I know it's the holidays and whatnot, but some of us use that as a distraction, right? So they're telling you basically to kind of analyze, let go of what does not serve you, meaning things you cannot control, things that are out of your control, which is what we worry about most, which again is no good. All right. And to focus on things that we can control, right? Like we can control how we react to a situation. So again, do not engage in the drama. It's going to be a very peaceful time for you, and you're in much need of that, Aries. All right. In much need of that. We do not want to bring all that negative energy with us into 2020. 2020 is going to be a good year. But again, we still have, we still have our, what is the word I'm looking for? Free will, right? We still have our free will. So we can drag stuff into 2020 if we don't release it. Even though the divine says it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful year, the universe says it's going to be a wonderful year, you still have free will. So you can choose to, not take that information. Now remember, I said this full moon is all about new information, breakthroughs, ideas, all right? Your emotions being balanced. So go with that. Now let's get into the tarot. The very first card out is the Lovers, okay? Now, this can have many meanings depending on the spread, what we're talking about, what we're asking the universe to help us with, to guide us with. These readings for the full moon are really more about us, our individuality, ourselves, okay? It's not really love. It's not a finance. That's not what these tend to go at. These are more about what do we need to do to elevate ourselves. So this card, the Lover's card in this situation, is about your alignment, being in alignment with your highest good. That's a good thing. What a great card to have out, okay? This is about harmony, about peace, right? So it's really a time for you to, again, kind of assess everything that's going on in your life, how you are. We are always evolving and changing, and to make sure that you are in alignment, with your values. So this is a beautiful card. I also like this, Aries, because you have the 10 of Wands in reverse. You are finally, for some of you, and I do say finally, because I always say Aries is the most stubborn. Everybody thinks it's Taurus, but I'm telling you, it's the Aries out there. And I love you guys for that. That's definitely a good thing in many, many situations. However, now you are going to lay down the burdens, okay? You are not going to be stubborn, and you are going to let go of the worry, all right? All these things that you have no control of, you're putting it down. You are really going to assess it and say, okay, why am I reacting to this situation the way I am when I have absolutely no control over it? And it's a whole reevaluation of how you approach these situations. Excuse me. And then, Aries, you have the Hierophant. Beautiful. This is spiritual wisdom coming in. We talked about, this full moon. This is new information being downloaded to you, new ideas, breakthroughs, things that just, you're like, wow, why didn't I think of that earlier, right? Just boom. And a lot of this is going to be coming, from the spiritual realm. Absolutely. Angels, ancestors, guides. Absolutely. A lot of this is going to be because your ears are open. And I will say this, for most of the Aries out there, I tend to notice that you guys are listeners before you're speakers when you're calm, right? And you're calm, right? And you're just listening and taking in information and just taking it in. And it's kind of maybe like this year, maybe you lost some of that with the worry that you've had. So now you're kind of going back to your roots, who you really are, and you're listening. That is such a good thing. You are going to gain so much from this. You are going to bring in such good energy into 2020 by doing this. I love it. You also have the Strength card. Okay, so you have 3 major arcana coming out. This is a big change for you, but not a change as if this is your personality and now it needs change. No, you're kind of going back to who you were, going back to your roots, your core values. And this card reminds you of that, and it reminds you of your inner strength. Like, how strong is Aries? Super crazy strong, okay? Every Aries I've ever met has been very, very strong, regardless of the situation, right? So that doesn't mean there aren't down and trodden times. Absolutely, there are for everyone. But Aries, you will push through. You always do. And it's just a card to remind you of who you are. I think that sometimes we all kind of forget, like, who we are when we get wrapped up in all of this, life, okay? You also have the Four of Cups. I love this for you because this is reminding you to do that meditation, to contemplate, to kind of make that list. What can I control? What can't I control? The things that we cannot control, that list is always bigger, right? We can't control a lot. But you're going to go back and you're going to recognize, okay, but I can control how I react. I can control this, right? It's like a realization for you that you had lost for a while, and that's okay because we all do. It's part of the learning process. And that's going to bring in this contemplation, this meditation, and this peace is going to bring so much more calmness into 2020 for you. Okay, so much more balance. And then you have, I love this, Aries, you have the Emperor. Okay, so remember, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. It's about the energy of the card. And the Emperor, well, that's your energy. You are stepping back into your authority, okay? Not in a dictative way, but in a knowing way, right? You're coming back to you, all right? You're coming back to the root of you. This is your energy. This is who you are. You see the bigger picture. You can see how things will affect the future, right? And it's like you're stepping right back into it, like you're going home. Okay, like you're going to have this feeling of going home. Okay, I love it. You also have the Two of Cups. Beautiful, because this is another card talking about, in this reading, alignment. Okay, so this is unified love. This is partnerships. So whether this be work, right? Work partnerships, whether it be love partnerships, whether it be family partnerships, your partnership with money, because we have partnerships with money, right? Or partnerships with the divine. This is unified love. This is beautiful. This is even give and take, right? It is so beautiful. And that is, again, the energy that you will bring into 2020. All of this full moon in Gemini is on 12/12 this year is really about what are we going to bring into 2020. And you are going to bring in equality and love and equal give and take and alignment. Next to that, you have the Five of Cups in reverse. So good to see this card. This is you moving on. You're moving on from the despair. You're moving on for the, oh, why me? Why is this happening to me, right? You're moving on because that's not who you are anyway. That's what you're doing. You're moving on. This energy, you are going to take it and listen, whether you do a ritual or not, even your mindset, you're just going to be like, that does not serve my highest good. I'm not going to worry about that anymore. You're going to take bigger actions. Maybe, burning incense, maybe saging. Like, you're going to start doing things that really bring peace, again, into your life over the next couple weeks. And that's going to bring that in to 2020. All right? I love it. I love that. And look at this. By doing all this, you have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is about stability. Stability in the home. Celebration. All right? So again, this can touch all areas of life, right? Stability financially, stability in a marriage, stability in a partnership, whatever it might be. Guys, your home is going to feel stable again. Very powerful, right? Very, very powerful. it's almost, well, it's like I said earlier, it's like you're coming home into yourself, right? You're coming home into yourself too. Like, oh, I'm back. I had to go out. I had to learn lessons. I had to travel. I had to go through this. I'm back home now. And this sense of relief is coming. You also have the Queen of Wands. So listen, the Queen of Wands for you is that determination that all things need to be good. That goes right hand in hand with this Emperor, I'm telling you, because it's this mindset, okay? Things will be good. Things will be great, right? Like, this is going to happen. Whatever that is for you, if you get down, because it is a general reading, Aries, but when you get down to the goals of each and every one of you, whatever that is for you, you are going to be determined to make that happen, right? You're going to be determined. You're going to bring that into 2020. You want more peace in your life, that's what's going to happen, okay? And you have the Devil in reverse. Beautiful. Beautiful, all right? Because the Devil is all about personal transformation when it's in reverse like this. You are having a total change in your thought process. Because when things get really, really tough, Aries, in whatever area of our life, then it's like a weed that grows and grows and grows in our mind, right? It grows in our spirituality. And you are absolutely weeding that garden out, okay? And you're doing that by listening, right? Listening more than talking. You're doing that about meditating more than worrying. You're doing that by the new information that comes in, the breakthroughs that come in, new ideas, right? Because you're weeding out all of that negative energy. Because who wants to bring that into 2020? None of us. And then you have the Seven of Wands. This is such your energy. You are standing your ground. And I feel like this, normally we'll talk about standing your ground with other people, right? That may be saying, oh, you can't do that, or you're not good enough, or whatever it might be. But in this reading, no, this is you standing your ground in your own mind. This is you go. These are all the wands you can't control, right? That we talked about, the things you can't control. And you're like, nope, you're not coming back into my head because I cannot control you. I refuse to worry about you. I just got the chills from head to toe. Right? That is such a different meaning that doesn't come out very much when I'm doing these types of readings. But this is you saying no to the worry, to the things that you cannot control. You're not going to let it creep into your mind and start weeding through there again. I love it. Aries, what a very powerful reading for you. Very powerful. This is my first reading for this full moon. I always, do them in the astrological, order. So you're always first. And I will tell you, this is so powerful coming out. Bottom of the deck, you have the Three of Wands. Gorgeous. Expansion, foresight. Now that you've cleared the way, your ships can come into you, right? You can manifest things that are coming into you now that you've cleared your head. I love that. This is, for me too, this is you looking at 2020 like, come on in, we got all the good stuff, right? Beautiful, beautiful. And then you have the High Priestess. This is what we're talking about with this with this full moon, right, in Gemini, and this 12/12 portal, December 12th. And as a matter of fact, guys, it hits its peak at 12:12 a.m. So very significant, okay? Big gateway. And you are going to get a flood of information, right? Because the High Priestess is all about sacred knowledge, right? She knows what other people don't. She's been through hell and back. She knows the life lessons, okay? And and she's gained all this wisdom, right, from that. And now it's coming to you, okay? It's going to come into you in various forms, guys. But I'm telling you, keep your ears open, listen more than you speak. Definitely check your dreams and your synchronicities out, right? If you're seeing certain patterns, number patterns, or if you're seeing a certain animal all the time, look up those meanings. So sacred knowledge is coming in. You're getting big downloads. Love it. Now, let's get to the messages from your angels. Your angels pulled out the frustration card. Your frustration is not wasted energy if it is channeled positively to create a better outcome for yourself. Embrace frustration and work with it, not against it. This is so true because we have it, especially with what we think of as negative emotions, okay? We have this way of saying that this is bad, right? Frustration is bad, anxiety is bad, this is bad, that is bad. However, if we choose to befriend those emotions and welcome them in and feel them and then release them, there are lessons to be learned. So again, it's how you're reacting to it. Very good from your angels. Your guides, Aries, say this: strength. When your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. This is again reminding you, you have all the inner strength, right? That's the roots. And sometimes we forget we have that. So this is just that reminder that you have the strength to make these changes, right? To view, to have a new perspective on all of this, to let go of that worry. And then your ancestors brought out the perseverance card, the motivation to keep going despite the odds. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, you need to keep going with everything that you're doing, these changes that you're making. You need to keep going, right? Good things will come in for 2020. I love it. So, Aries, let me know how this resonates with you in the comments. I read each and every one of them. How does this relate to your life? Also, don't forget to click the like, share, and subscribe button. That lets YouTube know that this is of value to you. And don't forget to click on the little bell. The bell notifies you of when Spirit and I upload a new video. So again, I'm just going to say it again. Take that time to evaluate what can I control, what can I not control, and let go of what you cannot control.